Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I am back after being, I'm still recovering from who knows what. Started today is September 17th, 2025. I think it started around the 1st of this month, whatever it was. I had fever, took the test and ruled out A, B, and C. That's the way I'm going to put it. And saw the nurse practitioner, have more tests to take, and even some imaging to do. Maybe they'll figure out what's going on with me. But anyway, I want to talk about something. You know, I've made a couple of videos. I put one up the other day because coming outside has been something I did not do. I was really knocked down with fever and all this stuff. Ugh, so much. I've been out once, I think, since the 3rd. And then today. So today's the second day since the 3rd of this month. Yeah. I was not well. But, anyway. But I've been thinking about something. You know, some stuff. I know that when I knew that I was feeling much better when my whole attitude came back, and actually I came back fat and mad about doctors and the stuff on the food that smells so bad, buying groceries, you know, and the packaging and all those older, or at least a couple of years old, 2 or 3 years, things going on that, you know, just don't change. And that came back, you know, and I was, again, I call it angry, but I'm so mild-mannered. So angry is just kind of like, okay, that's your anger. But I talk about it, okay? Vent about it. That's what I use my videos for, venting. Pressure release valve, you know? But anyway, and then there, let's see. But I was thinking about, you know, the other stuff, you know, how I talk about these grifters, you know, the e-beggars. You know, I'm talking about the online people who use their audiences, they lie to their audiences, they're master manipulators, charlatans, some of them. I mean, I like that word, but literally they're charlatans. You know, like snake oil salesman kind of thing. And, you know, swindlers, grifters, so many names for them. But they find ways to get money off of their audiences and by lying to them. And sometimes you're wondering, how is it, well, I am wondering, how is it these people don't get it? They don't get that this person's lying. And this person, you know, it's not just one person. There's several of them. I've been on YouTube. Last month was 11 years making videos. That's just making videos on my original, starting with my original channel. But I have other channels, so. But 11 years, I've seen plenty of it. Plenty of it. I have my first computer in 1982. It's not just YouTube, of course. Of course. I've seen grifters and so forth, so on down the road since 1980s. I would say mainly starting 1990. Seriously. But anyway, there's, you know, like I say, more than one going on right now. Sometimes there are the reaction channels, and they're just as bad as the ones they're reacting to. They're quite often hypocrites. Seriously. And that's easy to do. That is very easy to do, trust me. But the one recently, one of the ones recently, I should say one of the ones, really, seriously, takes the cake. Takes the cake, seriously. Okay, now I used to do this all the time, make a a little story up, a fictional story based on something real, or based on a composite. This is, like I said, not just one person. So let's try that. Again, it's been years since I used to do it with everything. But imagine this, okay? It's gonna be a lot of hyperbole, is it? But no, really. Okay, I'm gonna tell the story. You gotta have some kind of story background on that. But imagine you and your family, whatever age you are, you want to go to see. You're one of those who likes Disney World. Which one is the one that's in Florida? I went to that one. I think it's Disney World. Isn't Disneyland in California? I don't know. But anyway, the one in Florida. And I lived in Florida. I'm from Texas. But I lived in Florida more than once. And Adam and I. But anyway, say you're, you want to go see that. You're one of those that enjoys it. Speaking of Adam. Oh, he's going to bug me. But anyway, it was Adam. Seriously. Really, I told him, I've been out here twice since the 3rd. Really? I'd already told him that. But anyway, so you want to go see Disney World. You got to save up some money. You're going to have a vacation. And from there, maybe go to, what is it called? Cocoa Beach. Spend some time there. Go down down through the Keys. I did that. We went to the southernmost Keys we could go to back then. This was back in the 80s, I think. It was in the 1980s. Yeah. And, just have a good vacation. And you've saved up for it. You worked, just put some money aside, every chance you got, so you and your spouse, maybe a kid or two, so you can have a good, nice vacation. And, on the beach and all that. Disney World, go to the beach, woo, yay! Have a good old time. And so there you are, you're enjoying this, and you weren't going to the cheap places. The restaurants, you go to the restaurant alongside the beach, all that. And they were nice, say upper middle class restaurants, or lower upper class, whatever. They weren't cheap. So you're sitting there, like some of them, you sit outside. But the problem with it is that's where some people come, and now we're getting to the darker side. Not really darker side. It's okay, I'm joking a little bit. But, that's where people who, pick up for delivery, pick up their food, they go through that area, through the door to get it. And there you are, you're enjoying the atmosphere, the music outside. It's all kind of festive and everything, and your family, you're enjoying it. And you see this, there is an expression. Somebody who looks like something the cat dragged in, that's an expression. But you get the gist. Somebody whose hair is all oily and filthy, whose attire is this old t-shirt that, around the collar is all stretched out. They look like they're 20 years old, 15, 20-year-old shirt. Pair of pants or capris. Just filthy. And they have stains on the front, like where you were, somebody eating dropped food on the front. Okay? On the side, there's food stains. And, somebody delivering is not touching the food, at least should not be touching the food. Okay, so you and your family sitting here watching this person walk through, and just rude. the person is rude, talking on their phone, or well, actually making video, and it's just rude and loud, and making negative statements about the restaurant and where they had to park, and just being really rude. Like I said, the whole thing, and plus you could see their fingernails, like they were long, not because they want them to be, it's a woman, not because she wants them to be long, but she's too lazy to cut them. Because they're not painted, anything, and they're filthy. Okay, can you imagine, here you are, you're having this nice vacation, and you see something like that. Just all around, she looks really bad. Really, really bad. Okay, I could go into more detail of how bad she looks. Okay, what would you do? A lot of people, they just, it's not my problem. I'm not talking to the manager. That would make me a Karen. Karen, by the way, the people who do that, say that, that's racist. Generally, quite often, racism, sexism, and ageism. Because they pick on white middle-class women. Not middle-class, middle-aged women. Yeah. Be careful. Yeah. Think about it. Is that what kind of reputation you want? Employers can find you online. You want the reputation of being racist, sexist, and ageist? Didn't think so. Anyway, and you could even add in a few other ones. But anyway, a lot of people, they wouldn't say anything to manager. But some people would. Some people say, I saved up my money. I want to go sit in a nice restaurant out on the balcony, the patio, the whatever. And then I see this filthy person walk through there, and that they're going to be picking up food and to deliver, and gross. It just brings about such an awful thought. An image. I mean, the image is there. You don't have to imagine it's there. But just, this is the person they have delivering. A lot of places, they don't allow these people to come inside. And rightfully so. Like, they don't let them use the restroom. You see this kind of trash coming in. Somebody trashed out looking like that. Hair all greasy, oily, fingernails all long, and dirt underneath them. Clothing that's old, really, really old, and stained. Yeah, that's not the image they're trying to put out. So why are they going to allow you to come in and pick up your orders? Why would they allow you to come in and use their restrooms? And their diners see that? No. That's not the image they're trying to put out. You see? Okay, personally, I do think somebody should say something. I really do. I mean, I can put myself, that's called empathy. Putting myself in their shoes. Say, how would I feel? I've been, say a young married couple. No matter what age. They're having to save up money to do stuff. And they really, plan this great vacation. And then part of it is that. Part of it's tainted because of somebody, such a filthy looking person, is there to pick up food to deliver. I mean, and imagine the people at their home, and they live in this nice resort area, or this doesn't have to be near a beach. How about like where I live, and they have somebody come to their door that looks like something the cat dragged in, like that expression. I've had it happen. Okay, I've been disgusted by it. I know, I'm serious. There was a man here, and he was sweating all over my groceries. It was, oh God. mean, seriously. Seriously. You know, and these are quite often people who claim they're this premium service and they deserve more tips than that. No, you don't. You look like that. You just filthy. Clothes all dirty, hair all dirty. Doesn't even look like you wash your face. And you're middle-aged. Seriously. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what is your thing. That's how you're going to dress to go deliver somebody. That's how you're going to look to go deliver somebody's food to their door. Really? And then claim you're doing a premium service so you deserve more of a tip. No, you don't. You don't even deserve the tip you get. Really. I have seen some videos, you know, especially that's the type, by the way, who leaves the food on the ground. You know, just leave it door. Okay, it's going to be there unless they have a chair or something like that. We have a chair for them to leave, you know. Or I'll have when it's groceries, I'll have one of my shopping carts. You know, I have not shopping carts, but okay, once again, something going on in the neighborhood. Y'all don't want to crash into one another. Oh my gosh, came close. Anyway, you know, I have one of those that's a wagon, and the other one is a type that stands up. I'll leave them there so they can put the groceries in that instead of on the ground. But some people who deliver, there might be all kinds of stuff right there, but no, they're not going to do that. They're going to put a sack, not plastic, on the welcome mat that's wet. I've seen it. I don't care why you think it's good to put it on a mat, the welcome mat, at all. No. And plus, the ones where the door opens, they put it right there. Okay, what the heck are you doing? I'm telling you. I have been sitting out here since, I'd say about 30 minutes, and weird stuff going on. 30, 45 minutes. Like a weird, like the weird SUV, the yellow and white. Anyway, so you see what I'm saying all around. You know, they leave it on a dirty mat that's wet. A pizza box. How about that? Put it on the mat that is still wet from the rain. And they think that's cool. Oh, the premium service. Not at all. Premium service is trash. That is very trashy. You know, there are other places that they could put it where there is no rain. There is nothing wet. But no. And they show it repeatedly on videos. They're not saying they're doing it on purpose, but are you that dumb? How is that a premium service if you're that dumb? And this is just something that just keeps. Okay, there's going to be a crash the way some people are driving here. Unbelievable. But anyway, I'm going to go in, but I find some of this, you know, I've seen it again. You know, like I said, I had been ill, and you know, now I'm kind of back and getting back to where I'm watching more than I was watching the show Mom. You know, really. During this while, let's see, Mom, I wrapped up Touched by an Angel. This, you know, I never was much into watching TV in my life, and now with everything going on, I've been watching a lot on these apps and all that, these live streams. And let's see, I went from Touched by an Angel to the Baxters, and I think that then it's Mom. I still haven't finished watching the Mom, but I wrapped up watching the Touched by an Angel to start off with, I think. Anyway, so I'm now to watching some of the videos, and my stomach is growling really. I better get in there. It's 7:02 p.m. Adam made some squash and corned beef. Anyway, but yeah, I'm back on this. Really? Seriously, people? Use your brain. Is that what you would want? Your pizza sitting on a mat that's wet, and oh my gosh. You think that doesn't go through the box? Know your job. You're gonna call it a premium service? When you got stains on your clothes, your hair is all dirty, greasy, looks like you haven't washed your face, maybe your whole body. You haven't washed your clothes. Those old tattered clothes. And you're not trying to be stylish. Fingernails all dirty underneath them. Ugh. Gross, gross, gross. Come on, people. Really. I'm wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.